Holy shit, that got it. Wow. That is... oh man. I mean, I can't expect the last act to go anywhere near perfect on pace like that, so I will take that in a heartbeat. I should be able to review that in real time here. Oh, frame perfect back end. Let's fucking go. Oh my god, I was so unsure of that because I wasn't anchoring green. Wow. That is fucking awesome. For honestly as good as this run was as a congregate, pretty much everything on it could have been a decent bit better. That first act was minus 16 for my PB. After the back end chord, I had 89 this run. I'm able to, like I said, review this in real time. And my best was actually able to get over the next 100 mark at 05. I'm not even going to try to speculate on Act 3 because I never paid too close attention to those ticks. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I pretty much just expected the last act to fall apart. And like I said in the run, the whammy was not great, and I thoroughly expected that last act to be way too ambitious, especially because it's a reverse tick act on Xbox that I hate trying to time these because the tempo lines are so hard to distinguish. Oh man, yeah, that first chord was rough. The second chord was pretty bad too. So that last act has a long way to go, but of course it being a reverse tick act makes it really hard to optimize. The only way I'm able to tell what to do for that last act is trying to activate right before the second to last tempo line, but judging with how bad that last act whammy was, you can probably activate around, if not on, the third to last tempo line. But I knew the pace I was on was pretty crazy, and I will so easily take how that turned out. I mean, I want to say I doubt 258.4 is possible, but man, it's just so hard to tell. Like I said, there's at least 16 more on Act 1, probably more than that. Again, I don't even want to speculate Act 3. I'm sure there's a few more on that. Even though it doesn't involve whammy, it's just, you know, it's annoying execution. It's possible I dropped a couple in the solo, and man, there has to be quite a bit left on that last act. So, like, honestly, I really do not feel comfortable saying 258.4 isn't possible, because it might be, but this is still a great run, and I'm just really happy with how that last act shaped up with this. That is crazy. Again, I feel like this is probably a fake score. I could see myself coming back to this still, particularly just to try to optimize that last act a little more, but I can also see myself being done with this. Those ticks are quite a bit better than I was expecting / even hoping for coming back to this. But it's just one of those situations like a Fall of Pangea where, like, I just didn't realize how much was left here until I started optimizing this with a better skill set. Just crazy. That's good enough. I could probably shoot for more, but I don't know. This version just isn't as interesting to grind as the PS2 version, because there's nothing going on until that second act. With an asterisk attached. While I've never hit the upper bound, I've never even got within a couple frames of it. It may be completely impossible, especially on Xbox, because the buffered whammy mechanic does not work the same as on PS2, and I'm pretty sure that specific interaction that replicates the cherry pie half bar does not function the same on Xbox. At least I wasn't able to get it to. Somebody told me that Cyan was able to replicate the execution of it, at least what I'm pretty sure they were trying to say is getting the sustain to light up blue without showing the whammy pump, but they also said that he wasn't able to get the half bar on here, so I don't know what's going on with that. But from my experience, it just doesn't work in those situations. So anyway, what I was getting at is, even if the upper bound first act is not possible, that doesn't completely mean that there's nothing to be done with it. The first idea I had was pushing the act back 3 notes to activate on the red-blue chord, because there's so much distance behind it that the dynamic hit window should be at least a couple frames larger, and that might just be enough to make the blue-orange beyond the green sustain that the upper bound path ends on possible. Now, what that would allow you to do is get a substantial amount of ticks off the green. However, even if it is possible, it's not exceptionally appealing, because it would be incredibly hard to pull off, and it wouldn't be worth all that much, not only because the tempo in the song is pretty low and single sustains are just not worth that much, but also because you would have to let off the green pretty early to hit that back end on that chord. Now, if that adjusted back end was on a single note, say behind that green sustain was just a single orange, you could do the extended hit window fret trick to complete the green. Of course, in that scenario, it would be minus 200, but just as a thought experiment, it would be much more lucrative if you didn't have to drop green ticks for it. Anyway, if it were like reasonable, it would still obviously be worth it. It's just combining the fact that even if it is possible, it would be insanely hard, with the fact that it's not like, it's certainly not worth 400 like the PS2 upper bound act. So anyway, I shelved that after a few attempts, and my second idea was to just push the act back a note on the red pull-off to see if I could get any ticks off the green sustain back end. Unfortunately, I don't think I ever got any without overlapping red flaming the front end. I'm sure it's possible to get ticks like that, but it severely complicates the act and just ruins the consistency of getting to the second act, which is where ticks are really decided. So if I were better, I would be using that adjusted act, but I just could not get a good feel for the execution. And the other thing about that is, not only is the front end substantially harder in that situation, but you also have to optimize whammy on the 2 phrases, which just, all of that put together increases the failure mode of that act like 100 times, and it's to maybe get a tick or 2 off it. So going for total optimization, that would clearly be worth it, but yeah, I just had to shelve it. Did not seem worth it. I just reviewed the second act back, and the front end for it actually might have been frame perfect this run. I don't think the whammy was anywhere close again, especially on that first yellow-blue. Let me just review that real quick. It actually wasn't bad. The second yellow-blue was actually worse than I thought, though, in the run. I think the first yellow blue is actually better than the second one, which is strange. That just goes to show that, like, no matter how much time you put into this game, you really cannot get a great tell for how perfect your whammy is in real time. It's just kind of impossible. But the whammy overall looked decent enough, and again, that front end, I don't know, it looks pretty frame perfect to me. In the run, I thought I activated at least 2 frames before fretting, but it doesn't look like that here. So I have no idea what the cap on this is, but this is 24 over my first record. This is the most amount I've had after that second act period, so I don't feel the need to push my luck with this anymore. Turn into some arbitrarily long grind like the PS2 version, especially because there's no even 100 milestone to shoot for here, so I'm good with this. Don't know what's up with this score. That doesn't make sense tick-wise.